I done bought a wet vac. I done got Flex Seal and the Flex Seal tape and all this to try to stop the leak. Nothing working, nothing.
Imagine living with mold that makes it hard to breathe or lying in bed and the ceiling comes crashing down. That's what residents at One Algiers apartment complex told us they've been dealing with. Good evening, I'm Devin Bartolotta. Charisse has the night off. The complex is owned by a man who we've reported on before. All the tenants Eleanor Tabone spoke to asked we protect their identities because they fear eviction or retaliation. It's a story you'll see only on Eyewitness News.
For the last 3 months, there's been a steady leak in 3 different spots.
What you're looking at is the debris from a ceiling collapse.
Monday, September 5th, the ceiling caved in. Unfortunately, my tenant was in her bedroom and the ceiling hit her.
The woman owns the unit at the Parc Fontaine Apartment complex in Algiers. She rents the apartment out but says the company that owns the overall complex is responsible for fixing major building problems like ceiling and roof issues.
This is one of the most complicated ownership structures in the city.
The unit is uninhabitable.
She says she tried to reach property staff for months via phone and email, even going to the office in person.
I emailed with Miss Black. Are you aware of what happened?
2126?
Yes.
Yeah, I got it this morning and I sent the guy over there, but she has a dog.
She doesn't have a dog. I have the keys to the unit. And when you say you sent the guy over there, like, what do you mean?
I sent him over there to see what was going on, but he said there was a dog. He knocked on the door and left a note. Let me call him back. Let me see where he is.
Okay. Practically begging them to come and do something. And the only thing I received were excuses and broken promises.
Email chains show the leak started on July 2nd. The landlord says she called property management multiple times, then sent emails on August 9th, 23rd and the 30th, saying at one point, what will happen if and when the roof caves in as it did before? Emails show the property managers promised to have someone come by, but the landlord says that never happened. Then September 5th, the ceiling did in fact collapse. Other renters saying maintenance is slow.
Well, it's been about 3 months now. I've been having mold, running water coming out my wall, mildew.
He says he was hospitalised for lung problems. Do you use this room?
Not anymore.
Why?
It's a storage room now, as you can tell, because of the mold. I can't sleep in the room.
Because of the mold.
Mushrooms growing out my carpet, mold growing out the closet to my walls. I done had to throw 15 pair of tennis shoes away. That costs within $100 or more. Basically, like some weekends I go get a hotel room, but I can't afford to keep doing that. And the weekdays I just sleep on my sofa.
Parc Fontaine said this tenant reported the problem on August 25th, even though he says he's been complaining for months. September 7th, the same day Eyewitness News spoke to him, maintenance arrived. The tenant telling us since then, maintenance cut out the mildew and treated it.
Over the years, we've done a number of investigations of Parc Fontaine.
Tom Mulligan is with the city's Code Enforcement Office. That's the department that makes sure buildings meet construction codes for safety. He says issues at Parc Fontaine go back for years. The most recent investigation earlier this month, which he says the complex fixed. Code enforcement tell us there is another half a dozen cases under investigation right now.
Last year, we brought two cases to hearing. We got guilty judgments on both.
Parc Fontaine is owned by Dr. Richard Hamlet, CEO of the Ministry Outreach Foundation, and owns 2 other complexes across the city. We told you about the mold issues one tenant had at his complex, The Willows in New Orleans East.
As a maintenance clerk, and I took all the service orders.
A former Parc Fontaine employee says she got up to 30 maintenance requests daily.
The majority of the requests were like ceilings collapsing, water in the units. They had mold, buku mold in the units. They had some units that wasn't even livable.
Describing the calls.
They were telling me it's raining in their units when it's raining outside.
Sitting beside her.
I was doing collections from April to August. This is from April to August.
the hundreds of maintenance requests she took.
Parc Fontaine is not the Parc Fontaine that it used to be.
The solution from those who live at the complex.
They need to shut this place down.
I remember when Parc Fontaine was first built, I was in high school, and it was gorgeous. When I went to work there, I was kind of excited. I'm going to work at Parc Fontaine until I got there. I was like, oh my God.
Eleanor Tabone, Eyewitness News.
The landlord says she went to her unit this evening to check if the ceiling had been repaired and found that it had. Take a look at the photos here. Property management says the ceiling was replaced and the roof was repaired. As for the other code enforcement complaints against the property, the managers say they'd been notified of 2 issues and addressed both. They say they've not been notified of possibly up to 4 others.